Okay. Hi, my name is Estefania. How many of you have looked at a person and wondered who they are, where they came from, how did they become successful, and just overall their background? Today, I'm going to share more about me and who I am. First, I'll start with introducing the most important person in my life. Next, I will share a moment that for me seems to have shaped my destiny. And finally, I will share what I have done that I feel is a direct cost of this event that shaped my destiny. Diving right in, my mom is the most important person in my life, and I can remember admiring her since I was very young. Um, she moved to this country when she was very young. I think she was my age, and quickly she became a hard worker. But what I most admired in those times where I can remember is that she always made time for us on the weekends. We were a family of four. I have two other siblings, a twin sister and my brother. And we really couldn't help but wait until she got home and we were able to do activities on Wednesdays at the church and go to church on Sunday. We always wanted, for those days to come by. Which brings me to the next point, the moment that shaped my destiny. She moved to this country when she was around my age, like I mentioned, and we were at a point where we lived in a harsh area in Chicago, Illinois, in my childhood, that despite being a member, we were threatened by gang members to join them. We shared this with our mother, and quickly she found, a way to relocate us to a tiny population in Kansas. And for us, this experience a different kind of life. This changed our lives forever and opened us an opportunity that was a selfless decision from her. I was able to gather the change later on in life, but um, I'm thankful that she made that selfless decision. Later in my high school age, I was able to work. I remember that I really wanted to help her out as a young age, and I was of age to start working. Finally, ending up in a very different environment, I was able to patiently await and realize this dream. As for me, it was paused for a really long time due to legal status. My long life dream was to attend BYU. And as I enter into my adult age, I got married and enter my marriage into a marine painting business where I discovered what I wanted to do for my degree, business administration. Today, I think back to that moment that shaped my destiny and thank God for the opportunity that my mom changed my atmosphere where I could develop my taste for studying and my mother's strength to work hard. Thank you.
Job, Estefania.
Nice.
I don't know.
I don't know about the time because I put it on late. It might have been over a little bit, but did anyone timer?
I forgot to put mine on. I thought I had started it.
Okay, but that's really good.
Kind of. I was really, really, really nervous.
No, it's okay. So I noticed that you look to the side instead of down. One of the readings that talks about like making contact in, so you definitely would have made eye contact to people on your right instead of.
Correct. Thank you.
Nathan, do you have anything?
I thought it was good. It was good overall. It was important how it shaped your life. One thing I did notice was you might have used
Yeah, I know.
I might use it too. I don't know. Sometimes it just happens. We don't even think about it. So we'll see. But
Okay, thank you. I wrote
Yeah,
those
something,
things down. Thank you so much.
something to think about.
One other thing that I just talked to my tutor or whatever, I presented my speech earlier today, and one thing, because I cut out a portion that she said where I kind of outlined my speech for everyone, because I thought that's what you should do to kind of give your audience an idea of where you're going, but she told me to take that out. So you may consider taking that out. She said that just by what the content of the speech should be enough where your audience doesn't need the map. I don't know. So
Maybe because it's so short.
Okay.
yeah, maybe just shorten it, but that's
Yeah, I'm gonna meet with my instructor later today, so I'll definitely keep that in mind. Thank you.
all right. So Nathan, you're up.
All right. Let's see here. All right, so you can do anything you want in this life. You can achieve greatness. This is what my father would tell me all the time back home. I would usually retort with, then why am I working for you at your water and ice store? Hello, I am Nathan Hansen, and I do want to accomplish all I can in this life. I recently have had a strong desire to step up my goals to the next level. And that means following through with them and having some small worldly goals that will help me to be more important, that will get me to more important future goals. They include, not surprisingly, spiritual, mental, social, and physical goals. Whether it be working out 3 times a week, going to the temple several times a month, focusing on school before games or play, or even having a dating goal, they all accomplish a specific purpose. I believe what Elder Ballard has said is true. I'm so thoroughly convinced that if we don't set goals in our life and learn how to master the technique of living to reach our goals, we would reach a ripe old age and look back on our life only to see that we reached but a small part of our full potential. When one learns to master the principle of setting a goal, he will then be able to make a great difference in the results he attains in this life. Following through on goals will lead to great things. One of them being, for me, a better father and husband when that time comes around. I think family is very important and is something that we cannot take lightly. Having strong relationships with family is core to having better relationships elsewhere, with friends, church members, business, or work, or even people that we don't know. If we have a foundation of trust between each other, and that is already making huge strides to making a better relationship. Trust is something I've learned recently to make everything go faster. It was actually in a book called The Speed of Trust. It talks about how if there is trust between 2 parties, then a deal or conversation goes even smoother. You don't think about a hidden motive behind what they're saying and you just assume what they say is what they actually mean. An example, like your parents, you trust them very much and you do whatever they say, what they say is the best for you. But someone who you don't really get along with, you question everything that they think or say. So trust is something huge, and I'm trying to work on to get with every single person that I meet. And then finally, I'm trying to improve my future career, which is accounting. I took a career leader assessment test, and I found out that I scored very high in this field. And as I've taken some classes, I believe it will be something I know how to do and learn. Math is something I've been interested in, as well as using and playing around with numbers. I always liked doing the 1-minute timed multiplication test of 60 problems as a kid, because I always finished them before my class, and that would make me feel better. I think this would support my family in this career accounting field, and it would be something that I could get into. I look forward to making and following through on my goals and becoming a better person. And that's it.
Awesome.
How long was that?
3 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So you did well.
Wow.
3 minutes and 3 seconds?
Mm-hmm. What do you have, Stefania? I had 3 minutes, 3
Yeah,
seconds.
I have 3 minutes and 2 seconds.
Close enough.
I think I clicked it right after anyway.
Sorry.
So what's your feedback?
Really quickly.
No, repeat what you said. Repeat what you
Okay.
said.
No, there we go. Okay. You can tell you were speaking really quickly and reading.
Sorry?
Were you reading? I think you could tell you were reading.
Yeah, I was reading from on my computer.
Okay. Were you reading sentences or bullet points?
Sentences.
Maybe next time do bullet points. Because then you're not reading.
So have like
I could
a
see your eyes going back and forth.
okay. So like a general outline instead of like everything typed out.
Yeah. We're supposed to just
I did the same thing. That's what I did because I'm one of those people that I'll ad lib, but I don't. Anyway, I have to kind of have it in my head what I'm going to say. So bullet points don't always work for me because I'll forget certain things. So I'm with you. I kind of have to write it out, but you know, probably should do bullets so that you're not reading necessarily, but you're explaining your points. You know, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Or maybe no, it's okay. Or maybe just add a different tone, you know.
Okay.
But I've also, you know, kind of don't make it obvious that you're reading.
Good job, Nathan.
Because if we do it in front of like an actual audience, you're not gonna have time to be reading all of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, Jamie, you're up.
All right.
All right, I'm muting everybody.
You hear me?
Yeah.
It is to control my body and to be normal. I had my first seizure when I was 2 on a rocking horse, and my parents had these huge, and the light was streaming through the trees. My nanny put me in bed and went and checked on me, and I was having a grand mal seizure. So she took me to the hospital. The doctor said it was an infantile seizure and I probably wouldn't have any more. So a couple years later, I was still on this medicine, and I guess the pharmacist thought that it was for her, gave me an adult dosage and put me in a coma for 6 weeks. Then I moved to Texas. So I lived in Texas for 10 years and then moved to Maryland. And the seizures started coming back when I was 15, but they came back in a different way. My cheeks would go numb, my hands would get sweaty, and my heart would start pounding. I would still play sports. Out. So when I was on a bus with my volleyball team, out, and then it became more frequent. I played volleyball, basketball, and field hockey to look out for me. If I had fainted on the floor, then they would just go up and try to help me. I went off to BYU, was roommates with 2 of my cousins. My parents thought I'd be okay there. They didn't know that I was having seizures unless the school called them. Either I was in the hospital or had a seizure in the classroom. I met you. He was on a wrestling scholarship, and he made me feel normal. All the doctors told me they were panic attacks because they couldn't find anything on the brain. Doing it to myself. And they told me I was doing it to myself. But I was having them in my sleep, so I knew in my heart that I wasn't doing it to myself. We got married. We moved back to Maryland because that's where both of our parents were living. I did an internship at the Marriott headquarters because my major was going to be interior design. A bunch of the executives were in our ward, so they took very good care of me. I was having seizures headquarters. My first daughter, Maddie, it got worse. So the hormones made it worse. So every day we had to move in with my parents because I couldn't be, I was dropping her, being asleep for hours. When they slowly started dying down, we moved into an apartment, and I went into because I felt like my brain was dying. I didn't have control of my body. I couldn't drive. And if anybody's had a little baby and you're stuck at home, I felt like my brain was dying. So I got down to 95 pounds. Food was the only thing that I could control. The time that Elder Holland came in town for a stake president or for a stake conference, and after gave me a blessing, and in that blessing he said that I would be healed by modern technology to be a mom. 2 weeks later, my husband found Hopkins that specialized in the kind of seizures that I was having. The tests over again, and it turned out that there was scar tissue on my hippocampus, and that's why I didn't remember our wedding day, the reception, my first child was little. So just come out, and it worked for 2 years. I got pregnant with my twins. After Elder Holland's blessing, I found out I was pregnant with my son. So when he was 2, I got pregnant with twins. So I went into labor 5 times with my twins. And after they were born, I couldn't take it anymore. I was having so many seizures where they were grand mal seizures. So I went back to Elder Holland's blessing and was determined something had to happen. So I researched at Johns Hopkins, this doctor that was provides into, and it would shock me every time I'd have a seizure or they would detect it. Had hospital, and it turned out that I was a better candidate for brain surgery. On November 19th, 2008, and I went seizure-free for 3 years. We decided that, and before that, I had them almost every day. So my husband has always worked for the family business. We lived down the street from them. We were in the same ward, and it was just family overload. Having seizures, we decided to move down to North Carolina. We picked North Carolina, and in-laws had a beach house in the Outer Banks. And we loved North Carolina, and Raleigh had a temple and good hospitals. So, and right before that, I guess the stress got to me. And my husband in the middle of the night felt the bed shaking and saw me in a grand mal seizure. He went in the bathroom and just cried because we thought it was over. I was healed. And then in the morning, he woke me up and said, and he told me I had a seizure, and I just bawled because I thought I was finally free. I could control my body. I guess not. My sweet little son protected me. They've had to grow up faster because they have to take care of their mom. So that day, I think, was my ultimate low, crying, and she said, Jamie, what are you supposed to learn from this? The Lord obviously wants you to learn something, and he won't give you anything that you can't handle. My bishop's wife sent me this article from Elder Bednar, and one part kept sticking out to me. Do you have the faith not to be healed? And I kept reading over and over again, bawling my eyes out, like, control of my body. I'm sick of this. After I had my little pity party, I got down on my knees and said, what am I supposed to learn? How can I help others with what I'm learning and what I've been through? And shortly after, I got calls from 2 people in Texas where their little kids were having seizures. They didn't know what to do, and they were going to have brain surgery. I found that I can be a mouthpiece for other people and help them. I have also found that I can still lead a normal life. My memory is not completely blanked. And I'm able to be a mom. I'm able to drive now. I can exercise by myself without always wondering if I'm going to be passed out somewhere. And life is great now. Okay. There you go. All done.
Okay. So you way past with your time.
And that's of it.
About 9 minutes. But
How long was it?
like 9 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
But it's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive to your story, because it's really great that you're able to share that painful part about you. But maybe you can go back to what you're really wanting to say and shorten it. Maybe, like you said, bullet points and your ums.
Okay. Nathan?
Great story. You had a lot of history. It's really interesting. I'm glad everything is better now. I didn't really see too much. I thought it was good. I mean, I don't know if it was either your laptop or my laptop, but like it was kind of delayed a little bit, so your speaking wasn't going with what you were saying, so I was having a hard time like I could hear everything, but it was hard. It wasn't really syncing up very well, so
Just technology problems.
yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but
Okay.
I thought it was really good, Jamie. Thank you for sharing. You're amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. I think mine is the same as Stefania's. You just need to shorten it a little bit. Maybe just go to it's hard to do that because that's a very compelling story. It's hard to cut out stuff, but try to maybe cut it down a little bit. And other than that, talking to us, not at us, you know what I mean? It was really good. It was a conversation. Good job.
Yeah. The other positive thing that I want to point out is that you were looking at us, so we can definitely make eye contact with you. So that's something that I want to implement.
Okay. All right. So we recorded the whole time.
Yeah.
Or all.
Okay, am I doing this one more time? Is that what you said?
Oh yeah. Yep.
yeah, go for it.
Lucky me. I get to go twice. All right. Take two. That's how bad I am. I had so bad I had to do it twice.
We're ready.
No.
All right. Let me pull it up. Okay. All right. Your time is limited. Don't waste life living someone else's life. Don't be trapped in a dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your own intuition. Steve Jobs. Who am I? Well, I wear many hats in this life. I'm a mother. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a wife. I'm a joker. I'm a conversationalist, a lover of art, music, good literature, and sports. I love animals and I love nature. I'm not a big fan of structure, but I'm learning to adapt. As an individual, I've come a long way into growing to who I am. I'm the product of years of insecurity in my adolescence who, as a latchkey kid, spent way too much time watching television and memorizing old 1980s comedy quotes, to, as a young adult, someone who spent most of her time wandering trying to find out who she was. I didn't get very good grades in high school and wasn't able to get accepted into those great universities that my peers went to. So instead, I spent my time traveling, wandering, and playing. And luckily, through that time, I came to the decision to serve a mission, which was the best decision I ever made. I was called to the Philippines and was able to serve among the poor among us, and from that experience to gain a different perspective and a huge worldview that has changed my life ever since. I'm an unconventional thinker. This means that I have a hard time with structural things such as the educational system or the healthcare system or the tax system. Any kind of system I struggle with. And I hate rules, especially stupid rules. this has made finding a career choice very difficult for me because I feel like most of the careers out there are geared towards conventional thinking and conventional systems. And I find myself always questioning the effectiveness of the things that we do. I celebrate people like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Walt Disney, and Mark Twain, just to name a few, all of which had great ideas and were able to make a difference on the world by using their talents and thinking outside the box. I love the invention of the internet, the iPhone, the Netflix, and any other thing that expands our choices in life. I love the story of the founding of this nation and really admire those brilliant men who wrote our documents, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Politically, I'm pretty close to libertarian. I would like the government as far out of my life as possible. As far as my marriage is concerned, I married my opposite. Where I am a rule breaker, he's a rule follower. Where I'm a big picture person, he is all about details. It stands to reason because he's a military man. His life in the military has given him the structure that his personality is drawn to. I was attracted to his commitment, honor, and his courage. Being married to me had brought color to his life, and being married to him has brought structure to mine. So together, we're a pretty good team with our parenting, and we're parenting 3 children who are pretty well balanced. As a mother, I tried to apply what Joseph Smith taught, and that is to teach correct principles and let them govern themselves. I believe this is how our Heavenly Father teaches us. Motherhood has nailed my feet to the ground, but it is the biggest adventure that I've ever been on. I love being a mother. I love being a wife. I get to make the rules. I get to create my own structure. I love who I am. Thank you.
Oh, so just a little bit over again, but no biggie.
How far? What was the time?
Like what does it say? 3:23.
Still, that's impressive.
All
It
right.
is impressive. Yeah. No. Vete pa' allá. A ver,
You were looking up.
Did I do better at looking at you this time?
Yes.
Okay.
you definitely woke me up. Your voice was loud enough where I can, effectively be like, oh, what do you have to say?
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
That's great for me. I mean, I was like, oh, okay. Well, what do you have to say? Okay. I like who you are.
Well, our first critique wasn't taped on here, so I liked your intro again.
Yeah, you might as well. Okay. Thank you. Nathan.
What did I say last time? I think I also said I liked your intro and how you got really personal and what you had to say and like who you are and your family. And I think that's, yeah.
Any improvements that I need?
I think be better on the looking at us. I need to get that down, get more bullet points. No, not really. I can think of.
Okay. It was better the second time.
Yeah, I got that luxury of doing it twice, so. All right, so how do we do this now? Do we just turn this link into
Yeah, I'll send it to everybody in the
Okay.
email. So we'll say our farewell. Thanks everyone for coming. Let's
Okay.
work on the
We got it
future
down.
and good luck.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
for everything. Bye.
All right, thanks.
Bye.